Matt Lenihan Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store, our King's Competitions. We're here in Belfast. We are going to go on to Belfast in a minute, but we'll talk about yesterday. Look, exciting press conference. You like that? Yeah, starting it well. Didn't expect that. That just sort of came out of nowhere. We touched on it with Ben Shalom after, but what sort of your overall takeaway from yesterday? Because all that's been across my timeline is this fight. It was mega to start with, and I bet.
Yeah, I mean, look, my job as a promoter is to make the fight as big as possible, and you want the fight to be as big as possible. So I get, like, in that respect, it's everywhere, right? The numbers were huge yesterday. Everyone wants tickets. It's on the front page of newspapers, back pages of newspapers. But I just think it was a little bit of a bitch move. Like, I don't like the premeditated nature. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why, you know, there was many reasons why I wasn't happy. But if I knew that Conor Benn was doing that, I would have told him, absolutely do not do that. Now get in his face, tell him what you're going to do to him, don't lay hands on him and don't hit him with anything, because you're going to get yourself in trouble, and that's not what it's about. So I wasn't very happy when it started. To be honest with you, I thought it was a glass. Like, when you're standing there and you hear that noise, it wasn't like, and also there's like things going everywhere, and all of a sudden Nigel Benn runs around the back, I'm chasing Nigel Benn, and like, it's all a fracas. So I'm just not mad on the fact that you sit there going, right, I'm going to whack him with this after. You know?
When you say premeditated, obviously Chris Eubank Jr.'s had a couple of years, as has Conor, by the way, and I'm sure he alluded to it yesterday. He was very spiteful in his words, and he did bring up the tests, etc. But I want to ask about this fracas. So I was watching the big melee, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you come in, Ben Shalom gets pushed. I was like, what's Ben done? And I saw some comments online saying, Eddie's throwing his weight around, almost bullying Ben. So I'm going to put it to you, just because it is. So how did that happen?
I mean, I feel Ben knew anyway, because I think the whole team knew. I didn't like that. But basically what happened was, I'm trying to get over to Eubank and Nigel Benn. And he comes, if you watch, he comes back on the stage and sort of comes over to our lot, and I just, you know, I was pissed off. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't give a fuck about Ben Shalom. He's the op. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And if you come back on the stage and I'm trying to get through, and also, personally, I feel he knew. You know, there is a history of that, those press conference, Eubank pressers, and like, he told me before the presser, if anything happens today, I know nothing about. I've tried to find out what Eubank's going to do, and I don't know anything about what Eubank. Like, I just want to say, and then it happened, and I'm like looking at his geezer again.
But Eubank is that kind of like wild character. I mean, that press conference before wouldn't have done Ben no favours, him calling everyone scumbags, because it's like, oh God. No, so he's a bit wild like that.
No, but that's out of character, even for Eubank. Eubank's never got physical. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's a difference between calling, like, see all the stuff at the presser about, Eddie, we don't want to listen to you, blah, 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 blah. No problem, yeah? I can more than deal with that. School him, no one's going to out-talk me. But physically laying hands on someone and whacking someone with something, that's quite unlike Eubank, if I'm honest. And I think the whole thing's got to him. I think the situation's got to him. There was a few things that Conor said that I felt were like low blows as well. And I feel like it really got to Eubank, if I'm honest. And I don't think Eubank would have done that kind of stuff normally. When have you ever, imagine like Eubank whacking someone at a presser? That's not what he does.
He's never had this across the table from him. This is completely different.
Agreed. And I get that, but that's the world we're in. Like, you're not going to see Conor whack Eubank, or you wouldn't have, in my opinion. But you saw Eubank do that. So, and it's not like the fight needs the attention. Do you know what I'm saying? This is why it's personal, because he's thought, you know what, I'm going to get him.
The comments towards yourself, obviously, we know that he's not a big fan of yours, and I know it's water off a duck's back to you. It's you'll hold court and do what you need to do. But what struck me was he referenced it a few times in some of these like slow speeches of, do you feel that he feels a bit let down that obviously Conor's been through what he has done, and you can quite hear in the crowd a lot of people for Conor, and he's been like, he referenced himself as two bad guys. Do you think it hurts him a bit that maybe he hasn't had that adulation at least once from the British public throughout the last 10 years? Do you think it does really affect him?
If you're going to behave like he behaves, how are you not going to have people against him? Like, you're you're not like the way that he was talking to me. And I know there's a lot of people that don't like me and like me. I couldn't give a fucking monkeys. The reality is he comes across as incredibly rude and arrogant, right? If you come across like that, you're going to be disliked. If you don't want to be disliked, you don't come across like that. You sit up there and you go, I'm doing this for legacy. I've never really been adored by the British public. I'm giving this fight to the British public because I want their appreciation for me and my family and my father. You know what I mean? There's an easy way to do it, but he chooses to double down on being a bad guy. And then you moan about being a bad guy. Like if you're up there and I'm trying to speak and you're going, no, Eddie, we don't want to listen to you. We want parliamentary procedure. You know, most people watching it going, what a knob. That's the reality. But I don't think he cares about people thinking he's a knob because he knows people think he's a knob. You know? So, and he's built his career. He doesn't have ability. So he has to have something. And that is people thinking he's a knob or people disliking him or people liking him. There'll be a real mixture. Look, everything that happened to Conor Benn has, of course, affected his popularity. Right? Even going through the process and getting cleared. That's helped a lot. But there's still a lot of people that want to just, double down and stand by their word and blah, blah, blah. Conor, in my opinion, is much more conscious about being appreciated and liked. I think he genuinely wants to be liked by the British public. I do think so. Eubank, he's 30, what is he, 35, 36? Fucking like, you can't behave like that and expect to be liked.
This fight has divided opinions. Forget all the nonsense and the sort of theatre that goes with this. Everyone's got split on it. They talk about the size, the skill. Conor coming up spiteful. He looks so hungry for this. I was looking at comments. I saw TalkSport. Ben went on TalkSport before this started, and he referenced this being, if Eubanks trained how he should have done, this is a foregone conclusion. He referenced it could be like an exhibition. When you hear them words, does that surprise you? Because it's like he's basically saying this is a walk in the park.
Yeah, I don't think they think so. I mean, firstly, if he trained like he's supposed to train, he doesn't. He's lazy. He's a lazy trainer. I don't even think his camp really started. And when you see him hit pads, look at the way he splits from trainers all the time, comes back to him, goes to them. Like you saw even Jonathan Banks. I know you don't want to say too much most of the time, but there's no partnership. He's always said, I don't need a trainer. That's what Eubank said. I do it myself. When have you ever seen Eubank in a proper training camp, training like a beast, like against quality high-level sparring? Like, look at the sparring he posts in Brighton. It's like white.
Bomac, when he was with Bomac?
No, he never had a full hard camp with Bomac. He's in the top ranked gym hitting pads with different pad people and like he don't want it. Like you can't compare the hunger between these two fighters. Yeah? But it doesn't mean Conor's going to win. But in terms of how bad you want it, in terms of what you're putting for yourself through in training camp, Conor Benn is going through hell to win this fight. And when it gets down and dirty and tough, that's the hard yards you put in that can see you through the fight. Conor Benn, pound for pound, much better fighter. Much younger, much fresher, much more spiteful, bigger puncher pound for pound. The size is the only thing that makes this a 50-50 fight. And that's the danger for Conor Benn. Much smaller man in the fight. But I just think he's going to set about him and knock him out inside 3 rounds.
I feel like the only thing missing from this is parliamentary procedure himself. How much do you want to see him? Just simply the best music, come on, bring him out, WWE.
I'll be honest with you. As someone that is very close with his father, me, as someone that works with his father, like, I think he should be involved, not even for the promotion, but this is his son's biggest moment, right? Tottenham, 70,000 headline, Ben Eubank. And I hope they can find a way to, I'm not even like, for the promotion of the fight, I don't care, but I just hope, even with what he says about me, Junior, I hope that he's involved for Junior. You know what I'm saying?
Last two, just very quickly, I bet you wish you'd have done 100,000 at Wembley now. Is that a bit of a regret?
Yeah, it is, because I've got to be honest, like the pre-sale stuff and the orders we've had in are just mental on the hospitality, and we knew it was going to sell out, but obviously yesterday took it to a new level.
Got to ask you, look, we are in Belfast for a reason. I feel it's almost a shame that we've seen that this week, because this fight in Belfast, I'm telling you now, if you're not a fan of the sport, tune in, because these two are going to go at it. Two different styles, they're going to gel very well. There's a bit of rivalry there. There is needle, no matter how calm they've played it today. How excited to see this. This is like, as well, the carrot at the end of this rainbow. Jerome Boots, Ennis for a world title. Donovan, Crocker. Just tell everyone why we should tune into this.
This is a special fight city, and boxing's flying at the moment. I mean, Riyadh was unbelievable. You were there, this is different. This is 8,000 people in the SSE Arena for an all-Irish, World Championship final eliminator to face the winner of Boots against Stanione. It's a fight card full of 50-50s and a brilliant main event. 14-0, Paddy Donovan from Limerick. 20-0, Lewis Crocker from Belfast. Wild night, wild atmosphere. Just tune in, start to finish, even before the bell. Some brilliant 50-50 matchups as well. Every fight on the main card, complete 50-50. And you will see a really special atmosphere on Saturday. You'll be here, won't you? I mean, this is going to be really special. Yeah.
Live on DAZN, Eddie Hearn. Appreciate your time.